guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. I'd like to welcome you today to the grads of Team Tiny Hearts Hop. Team Tiny is a group of small craft channels that have gotten together to help each other reach that first big milestone, 1,000 subscribers. When you pass that milestone, then you're able to join the grads of Team Tiny Facebook group and join in many of their hops. This is a hashtag-driven hop today, and this month's theme is hearts. So to see the rest of the lineup, just click on hashtag grads of Team Tiny Hearts in the description. You'll also want to check out all of the other videos because we are also having a giveaway. Neha from Craft Supplies by CC is giving away a $10 gift card to her shop. I've left a link to her shop down below, as well as affiliate links for all of the supplies that I'm using today. To start off with, I want to show you what Neha sent to each of us. At least I know this is what she sent to me. She sent me this cute little bag of basically shaker bits. They are made from, I believe it's polymer clay, and look at all those cute little hearts. They all say love. So, of course, what am I going to be doing today? I am going to be making a shaker card. So first thing I decided to do is go into my craft stash, as I've been doing a lot lately, and pull out one of the paper packs that I've had for a year and not used. This is one of the ones that I bought last year from Michaels. I don't know that they've got them available at Michaels any longer, but I did find a link to Amazon for this pack if you're interested, so I'm leaving a link down below for you for that. And I went ahead and started, finally opened it, and I went ahead and started flipping through. There are some really lovely papers in here. And last year I intended to do more Valentine's Day cards, but then I never did. So this has been sitting on a shelf ever since. Okay, I have to go back to this one. I think this is really, really cute. This could be used for any time of year. That's one of the cool things. Some of the pages are ones that you really need to use for a specific holiday, but others you can use for basically anything. I mean, these backgrounds are just darling. And I figure I'm going to make a few Galentines type cards this year, so I'll probably be getting into this pack quite a bit. I mean, and look at that. We've got these little tickets here that you could cut out for sentiments, which you know that that's probably what I'm going to be doing with those on one of my videos this year. And I love this red paper. All of these are just darling. I love all those little hearts. They're so cute. And then I came across this page. This is a real nice one that could be good size for different cards, or even for a little notebook cover. So that is nice. And then when I got back to this one, I thought this would be perfect. I think this is the one that I want to use for this specific card today. So I will go ahead and cut that one out. And I do have my large paper trimmer at my desk. I don't usually keep it over here, but I was using it on another project. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that. I don't want to take the pages out of the pad, mostly because what happens when I do that? I wind up having scraps everywhere. So let me just try getting this one piece through there. And this Swingline paper cutter is 12 by 12, so it is the perfect size for this. Just trying to line it up with the edge without cutting, and that doesn't always work. And since I'm only going to be using half of it right now, I'm going to use my scissors to cut the other half. And try to stay on that line too. Mostly this is my OCD kicking in, but a part of it's also I don't really want to waste any of that pretty pattern paper. So this card, I think what I'm going to do is a little bit different. This is actually a 6 by 6 piece. So I'm going to make a card that is approximately 6 by 6, and I don't normally make that large of cards. So in order to make this into a shaker, I need to do something about what do I want to put my shaker bits into. I mean, I've already got a great sentiment right there. I don't need to add anything for that. So let me just grab out one of my dies. I do have a few heart dies, and they are sitting over here somewhere. So I think this one will work nicely. So one of the ones that I have is this nesting heart die set. So I could use that, or I could use the balloons, but they don't really have real close. Basically, it just means that I'm going to have a window that has quite a big barrier around it. So let's see what I want to do with that. That would be kind of nice. Have small edge here and bigger there. That would be kind of cool looking. So there's one idea. And then I've got this set that I haven't used that much, and I haven't used the little bird. Let me go ahead and get that little bird off of there. This one is from, the nested hearts was from Doris, and this is from Penny Black. It's heart balloons. So I could do balloon shaker. Actually, I think I am going to do a balloon shaker, but I'm just going to use the large one and try something a little bit different for this shaker. Okay, I'm back. I had to test this out before doing it. I have the We Are Memory Keepers. I'm sorry, not that. This is the Project Life from Becky Higgins fuse tool that I haven't used much, mostly because I guess I'm not 100% confident in the seal sometimes, but I think I got this a little bit better this time. I went ahead and made this little shaker pocket, and that looks kind of cute, and so far doesn't look like any of the glitter is coming out. And I did use glitter in there, which I don't always use in my shakers. But what I'm going to do, instead of trying to do like a 2-layer frame or a 2-piece frame, is go ahead and just do using a sheet protector. Now, you do want to make sure that you're using a fairly thick sheet protector. These are heavyweight, and I think I got them at Amazon. I will find a link for you guys so you'll have a source for that and one for a fuse tool. Now, what a fuse tool is, it's basically, at least this is the way that I think anyhow, I believe it's kind of a wood burning tool, except it's got specific types of tips so that it adds the heat more evenly. This is going to create, this one is a little wheel, and you can see the little ridges on there. So it's going to basically put down dots of heat that is going to melt the plastic and kind of glue them together. So this is the one that I made using this as a template, and that looks kind of cute. So what I think I'm going to do with the page that we found is cut out this shape out of the paper and then put this behind it, because otherwise these edges are going to show on my card, and I don't think that's going to really look too good. So I'm going to go ahead and start the pocket for this, and I think that instead of going like I did on this one, I think I'm going to have the bottom side be the part that is going to be open. Now, if you go too fast when you're using your tool, you're not going to get that secure hold between the two pieces, which is the problem that I've had in the past. I think I was just moving too quickly. I also, just the way that I work, I'm going to need to be basically pushing away from myself, so I'm going to be turning this quite a few times. And I think I'm going to start on this end, and this is just a piece of a sheet protector I went ahead and cut off. So You can use this kind of method for a lot of different types of little pouches and pockets made out of the clear material. So I'm going to go ahead and just place this down, and I'm going to go slowly. I am going to try to get it to roll. Sometimes it doesn't want to roll. So you may be able to see. Okay, you can see that? So that is where it is adhering. I just need to line this back up on there. And the cord is very, very twisted. It doesn't want to straighten out because I've had this sitting in a drawer for quite a while. So let me go ahead and move a little further. And you do want to make sure you're doing this on glass or something like that because it needs that extra protection. I'm working on something on my other glass mat that I typically use, so that's why I went ahead and pulled out my old We Are Memory Keepers board. And it is tempered glass, so it works perfect for this purpose. You just go slowly around. And I am putting that roller piece right up against the steel die. That piece was probably too fast. And this is something that will definitely take some practice. I have gone too slow and basically cut open, cut the material instead. There are also different wheels that you can get to go on this for different types of textures, depending on what you're wanting to use your fuse tool for. So let's see how that's doing. And yes, I do double check them because I have had kind of bad results in the past. Okay, but it does seem to be holding pretty well. We go ahead and put that back in place. Okay, I pretty much know where the next part needs to go, so I'm going to try to start it and then put the template back down. Because I can't really get this really in that curve there. And this looks like it's working pretty well. Okay, so I did leave a gap there, and that is going to be where I'm going to be adding my shaker bits to go in. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and trim most of the excess off. I'm not going to trim all of it off, and I am going to leave a little bit of a border around just to give me something to adhere to the card. So I've got a little more than 1/4 of an inch around that I am leaving on there. Okay, and now I'm going to add some of my little clay bits. And this, I believe, is a bead tool. It was something that was in with some other things that I got from someone off of Amazon a couple of years ago and haven't really used it. Like I said, it was mixed in with other supplies. And at that point in time, I was just wanting kind of art supplies. So putting a bunch of those little guys in there. And that looks pretty cute on its own, but I want some more shaker bits in there. So I'm going to add some of these metallic hearts that I got from Target last year. That's going to add some other colors to go in there and give it a little bit more shakeability, I guess. Plus, I plan on putting some of these as embellishments on the front. That's going to be kind of cool too. And since this is going to be a little bit of a flat shaker, First, I think I'm going to also add some white glitter. Not a lot, because I don't want it to overwhelm like the other one. That one's got too much glitter. Most of it is red, so it kind of hides the shaker bits. But let's just add a little bit of the white. And then I'm also adding a little air in there too. Kind of puff it up a little bit, so that everything's able to shake around. Oh, that's going to be so cute! Okay, so let me go ahead and get the shaker stuff out of the way. I think that does look pretty good, but I do want some more. I want more shakers in it. I want more stuff. And when you're creating your own mix, you never know how much of anything you're going to need. So I have no measurements or anything like that. Just scooping it in until I like it. And that looks pretty good. Okay. So now I'm going to put this die back down. And then finish up. I can get the cord to move. Finish up sealing this off. Now, because of that little balloon piece down at the bottom, I'm gonna, well, I think I will go ahead and go all the way around it. It might cause some of the shaker bits to pool down there, but go across this way. And then I'm just going to attach those. So now we've got a little shaker envelope. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my window for my little shaker. So what I think I'm going to do, since this is actually slightly smaller, it should work out okay. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to test it first. I don't want to cut it and then turn out that it's not quite big enough and have wasted that. So I'm going to just cut that out of some regular cardstock. And I'm going to use my magic mat to do that and run that through my Gemini Junior. And then to make sure that it stays in place, I'm just going to tack it down with some washi tape. And then the regular sandwich for the magic mat, which is the two clear plates that come with the Gemini Junior, and then the magic mat in the center. Go ahead and run that through. Okay, and let's see if it fits the way I'm expecting it to. Oh, that is a perfect fit. That is just what I'm wanting. Awesome. So now I'll go ahead and do that on the scrapbook paper panel. And I think I want to have it a little bit like that. Yeah, just a little bit off kilter. Go ahead and run that one through. Whenever I remove washi tape, even though it's not high tack, it can sometimes rip your paper, so I always pull it back on itself. Okay, so we can do it like that. That is kind of nice. Now we've got a couple of different choices here for behind this. We can either cut out another one and leave it flat, or I can put another piece of cardstock, a pattern behind it. I think I'm going to go with the pattern. So let's see what else is in that paper pack. Everything in that paper pack is going to coordinate. Let's see what I want to use behind this. And this is actually another thing that would, oh, that looks nice. It's another thing that I could actually use is something from one of these pages that I don't really use them that much because it's a pretty design, it's huge, but it would also look real nice just using parts of it. So I may go back and do that. Now, so far, what we've got is pretty much mostly in pink, so I think the red is going to be too distracting behind it, and it's not going to let the shaker bits show. That is cute too, but you wouldn't really be able to see a whole lot of it, so I think I need a plain kind of pattern, plain kind of paper behind it. Although I think I do need white instead of pink. So, could use something like that. The red's going to be a little bit too bold. And then we've got this that's with these little hearts. And I think this one is going to work the best. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a 6x6 piece off of that. Okay, so now I'm ready to start putting this together. Because I don't want this to come loose, I want it to stay in place, I'm going to put it down with some Scor-Tape. So I'm going to just run this 1/8" piece of Scor-Tape all the way around the hole that we've cut. And one of the neat things with this is because I've already got it sealed up here, I don't really have to worry too much about the bits coming out. So I'm basically making a flat card, or a mostly flat card, not having to add that extra dimension with foam tape or anything like that. So this one should be pretty easy to send out through the mail without having to worry about extra postage or things coming out of the shaker. And as always, I am going to burnish this down before removing that tape, because I want that adhesive to stay put. Okay, and I'll go ahead and take that tape off, that release paper rather. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and position my shaker. And I'm going to try to make it so that the fused edge is just on the outside of the hole. Okay. Oh, that looks too cute. Okay, and then for this, we can just put that down with some regular dot liner. Don't really need anything additional on that. I am going to use quite a bit of it though, because I do want everything to stay put. Just line it up on the bottom. There we go. Okay. So now we've got a cute little shaker card front. I am going to go ahead and trim this down just a touch though, because you can see I've got a little bit extra showing off on the edges. Also, if I trim a little bit off of the border, I can create an actual 6x6 card and not have to, and still have that little bit of a white border that I like. Let's see. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking at where the white starts when I've got it up to the edge, because I want it to be about the same all the way around, and that is pretty much the easiest way for me, as long as I can remember it, to get it mostly lined up. And I may trim a little bit more off, just depending on how it looks once I get it on a card base. For the card base, I'm going to be using my standard 300 GSM Recollections cardstock, and I'm wanting to cut it, since this is 6 inches, I do need to cut it at 6 inches, so that means since this doesn't show all the way out to 6, I will have to cut 5 inches off. So go ahead and cut it at 5. See, that's too small, but this should be the right size. So that is just about perfect. I do need to trim this down just a touch more so it'll fit well on there. And I think feeling the two, now this is double layered scrapbook paper, so each of those sheets is nowhere near as thick as the regular cardstock that I use. So I'm debating. It's still not quite as thick as this, but I think it should be good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 5 inches, fold it over, and use that extra piece as the hinge. So let me get my score tool. Okay, here's my EK Success scoreboard that I use all the time. I'd say this is probably the one tool that I use more often than anything else. I'll go ahead and score that at 6 inches. And then burnish it down. And then we can either have a top folding or side folding. Don't really like the way that this looks on the inside, so I think what I'm also going to be doing is cutting a piece of 6x6 piece to go on the inside after all. For that though, since I've already got these layers, I don't really need to use my heavyweight cardstock. Instead, I can use some regular lightweight. I'm going to go ahead and trim off part of this flap because I really don't need that much. I think I'm going to just trim it down. I'm going to trim it down to 1 inch because that should be enough for the hinge. And then when we put that on there, it doesn't look too bad on the inside. However, I am going to still use some copy paper. Now this paper that I'm choosing to use this time, just because I know it's a little bit heavier and looks better, is some 28 pound. So I'm going to cut it just like I did the other. I'm going to cut it at 5 inches, so it'll leave a 6-inch piece on this side. And then cut that one down by 2.5 inches. Let's see. So that when I get it together, that'll be a perfect fit. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. Actually, I'm not going to trim it down anymore. This is going to be just fine. That'll be fine for the front. Okay. So next step, of course, is going to be to adhere it. And because these are separate pieces and it is the hinge, I'm going to go ahead and use that Scor-Tape again to make sure that it is adhered well. I'm putting a line of the adhesive, the top and the bottom, and then the center, because I want it to hold really well. Go ahead and burnish all of that, and then I am going to go in with some art glitter glue for a little bit of overkill. Again, you don't really need to use this much adhesive. You guys do you. As long as it adheres as well as you want it to, you should be fine. I don't want mine falling apart, and I haven't really made cards like this before. I don't really do 6x6 that much. Oops. I just refilled my bottle, so that's why it came out a little bit faster than I wanted it to. Okay, and for this one, I think I'm going to do And we'll do a side fold. So going ahead and lining that up. And because I'm not using an extra piece of cardstock on there, I did decide to go ahead and just have it as basically the same size as the card. Now I just need to adhere this piece of paper down. On the inside. And since I'm using paper and not cardstock, I am going to try to smooth it out a little bit. Add a little more glue. Placing it on the inside, lining it up at the bottom, and then just folding it shut. And now I can just trim off the excess. And the card is pretty much done, other than adding some additional embellishments. It's too cute. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. Although it doesn't really need them, I am going to add some of these little guys on there too, and I'm going to add a string for this balloon. And then just add a few little embellishments. Since we've got the sentiment down here, I think I'm going to add a couple of little hearts over here. And use my Marvy pickup tool. I did a gold and a pink, and here's a red. I want to add more to it, but I can't. That just looks too perfect as is, so I'm going to leave it at that. That finishes up this card for today. I hope that this video inspires you to get busy and create something great. And I would love to see what you create. So come join my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. I've left a link down in the description box below. Be sure to check out all the other crafters in the hop, because I know they will have a lot of inspirational projects for you to see. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.